Welcome to a brand new episode of Journey into Fantasy. For this episode, we will be talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and our thoughts and all that. But a little introduction. Hi, my name is Brandon. I am one of the hosts, and my co-host, Marin El Rambo, the Marvelous Mulk, is the other person, the other host of this podcast. Ain't that right, Rambo?
What's up, guys? Yes, sir.
All right.
Uh, Rambo over here. We're gonna give you guys our review and thoughts, spoiler free and spoilers, or of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yes, that is correct. We're going to start off with spoiler free, just briefly talk about some stuff, and then we're going to get into the spoilers and like break stuff down as we speak. Spoiler free thoughts on Wakanda Forever.
All right, man. You want to start us off?
So, without any spoilers, what is one thing that you like?
One of the things that I really liked about this movie would have to be Namor and his people, the Talakan people. I really liked Namor's origin, being Mexican and all that. I really enjoyed seeing that in the big screen, especially in the MCU. Seeing how they, I guess I can't really get into spoilers, but seeing how they got to where they're at technically.
Yes, that was very interesting to see. One thing that I really liked was Shuri, as we see more of her, and like she's the
Oh
main
yeah,
character of
yeah,
this, and
definitely.
like this was more her movie than anything else, and like her journey. So it was just interesting to see. Like I don't know, it felt like a long way from when we first see her in Black Panther to now. It's like okay, this is really good. This is very interesting, investing. It's a very rich story with her. So
I
that is
would have to
what I
agree.
like.
Yes, the Namor, they go Namor. Suri's story. She is because she is the main character. I guess that's kind of a spoiler, but she
Hmm.
is kind of the main character who we follow behind in this whole movie. Her struggle to come to acceptance, I guess, with the death of her brother, which isn't really spoilers because you see that in the trailer.
Right. It pretty that was pretty much said in the
Yeah,
trailer,
her
and
with
it's
her Suri.
sad.
Yeah, it is really sad. You could tell the actors. I can't even. I don't even think they were acting some of these times, bro. It was really emotional.
Yeah, like you could tell like they're doing it all. There is definitely a tribute to Chadwick, both in character, but at the same time, it does feel out of character with like them tributing to Chadwick in a way. It's like
Yeah, you
which
feel the like the I guess
it feels like both ways.
yeah.
Honestly, it's in character, but at the same time, out of character. Like the actors in a way, like
To be honest, man, I don't think they were acting.
not being their character. Yeah, not acting, but just
They were actually. I feel like they were
yeah.
actually showing their grief in the on screen, man. Because especially Angelina Bassett that plays Ramonda, the mother.
Oh
She
yes.
did amazing, bro. She was really good.
Yeah, see that? See, I'm not gonna lie. I saw people be like, "Oh yeah, she deserves an Oscar for this,"
I
and
saw
I
that
could
too.
see that honestly. She was really good in this.
I like I'm saying, bro. I don't think she was acting. That's the thing. That's why she was so good, bro. It was really good, man.
Oh yeah, and of course, Mbaku.
He was one of your
He was
favorites.
amazing in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in my opinion, for the first film, he honestly stole the show, and in this one, he was just as great.
Yeah,
I love
and for as
I love
little
the
as we
character.
saw him, I guess I don't. That's not really a spoiler. I'm just saying he's not really in the movie as much as I wish I saw more of him. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's one thing, but at the same time, he's perfect in the film. He's like I love the character. The actor is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I want to see more Mbaku in the future.
Mbaku, he was really good.
And but with this film, we do see the introduction of Namor and his people. The what are they called again?
Talokan.
Let's the Telecons. Which it was a I would say it was a perfect introduction to this long-awaited character. And like throughout the years, it was unknown if we will ever see Namor because of the similar situation with Hulk and with the Hulk with between Marvel and Universal because Universal owns the rights to Namor also, or as said in the film,
So what
Namor.
happened? Did they just lose the rights, or do you know?
I think it's the same situation as with the Hulk, where they have the distribution rights.
So they can never make like a standalone Namor movie.
Possibly, but there is rumors of a Hulk film being in works again, so looks like maybe Marvel got them the full rights back, but who knows?
I see. Well, yes, I would have to agree with you, man. Namor, the introduction of Namor was really good. Especially
Yeah,
I see a
Namor
lot of
was
this
just
online and a lot of this on Twitter. People clowning on the little wings. I love the little wings, man. 'Cause that's a staple of the character. Without the little wings on
that's
his
how
foot, he's not
that's how the
Namor.
character is.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how
I
the
know what you
character
mean.
is.
He's supposed to have those little wings, you know.
It's
It's
like,
not that it doesn't look silly. It looks, of course, it even looks silly in the freaking comics, but that's a staple. It's
yeah,
like having the Hulk not be green. You know what I mean?
r- right. It's like I feel like Ryan Coogler does best with exploring the culture and all that in his films too, like what he did with the first film, and we do see a lot more of that in this film, especially with the Talakans.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just seeing like Namor or how Namor was and all that with the culture, how his people see him, and like kind of like his point of view. It's like, okay, this makes sense. And like in the comics, Namor isn't really a bad guy, but yeah, I wouldn't say he is a good guy either. He's more of a does whatever he wants, I guess.
He's a very antagonist for especially for Phase 4 so far. Something different that we haven't seen in a while because you do see that he at least for me you do kind of see the reasoning on why he's doing what he's doing. It's just he's kind of
Yeah.
maybe he's kind of like an extremist. He just takes it a little too far, you know, or he takes everything a little too personal.
Yeah. Oh, Fantastic Four is going to have a fun time when they get introduced with him.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Yeah, they're going to be the love triangle possibly between him, Reed, and Sue.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if this is. I guess we could get into like more into spoilers, but about the origins of why the Talokan people had to become the way they are.
That was very interesting, and I thought it was done pretty well in the film. And of course, the origin and all that is it's pretty different than the comics, but at the same time,
You have to understand because Aquaman,
it's still really good.
Namor's origin is basically the same as Aquaman's.
Yeah,
He's found his father was a fisherman, his mom was a mermaid or an Atlantean. They fall in
but
love. The exact same story as Aquaman. But so I understand and I see why they had to change it. And the way they changed it, in my opinion, was a really good way. You know, showing the background of another culture of the Mayans and I guess Aztec culture. I think he's more Aztec. I
right.
think it's Aztec rather than Mayan, if I remember correctly.
I remember saying that it was going to be a mixture of both, but I'm not sure exactly. But yeah,
Speaking of
pretty much it's
introducing new
still.
characters, what was your opinion of how they introduced Ironheart, another new character in the MCU introduced in this film?
It was really good. It was pretty good, like because of course, new MCU characters that are from the comics and all that. And of course, you're gonna have people complaining about it who never read the comics, like they did with She-Hulk. But it was like it's. I'm always invested when like they introduce new characters in a way. So it's like, okay, I wonder how this can play out. I wonder how they can play out. What stories will be around them, what stories they can do with them,
Yeah. Uh,
like how they could interact with the others. So that's what I like when we see new characters and everything.
yeah. I would have to agree. Just what I would say is that because I'm also invested when they introduce new characters because it's how I was talking before. It's more of like a world building. They're building the bigger
Mm-hmm.
MCU world, and the character
Yes.
has to get introduced in somewhere. It's just like that. You're right. In the comics, you might, for example, maybe in Ironheart was a little cameo or a little prequel before gets her own comic. She might have been introduced into like an Iron Man comic or something like
She
that,
was like briefly introduced in an Iron Man comic before
having her own series.
like the role expanding and then having her own series, you know, and it was the same with I believe it was the same with Kamala Khan in a appeared briefly in a Captain Marvel comic before she became Miss Marvel and all that.
Yeah, I
So
would agree, but I want to be honest with you, man. She could have been any other character, and it would not have made it any
I
different.
do agree. I do understand that, and I'm not gonna lie, I have to agree with that. But at the same time, I do feel like after the death of Tony Stark in Endgame, Ironheart was in a way like a long-waited character to be
Oh
introduced.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we got that.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying, I wish I seen more. I wish she could have done more in the film, but not. The film was already kind of stacked, and there are some parts that do
Yeah, it
drag.
was.
So I do understand. I would have preferred if they cut. There's some scenes I wish they would have cut and just would have replaced it more of Ironheart series, Ironheart's scenes more. But I guess we're gonna
Yeah,
get more of her story, her origins when she gets her own series or movie. Maybe that's why they didn't do much
right.
with her.
But this does set up for that series, like set up to like go into that series. And another thing, it does also set up future MCU projects or future MCU possibilities.
Hmm.
And
There's another.
but
There's another. I don't want to give any spoilers because I don't know if they were introduced into the movie or in the trailers at all. But there's another thing where people are. I see people online hating on it, but it's setting seeds for a future show, which we'll get into when we talk about spoilers, I guess.
okay.
And
But
I'll go ahead.
overall, what was the main thing, non spoiler, what was like the main thing you liked within the film?
The main thing I liked,
Yeah.
I really like series like the
Journey.
progression. Yeah, I guess journey. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's the word. I like series journey of dealing with her grief and coming to terms of you know her being a woman of science and not really falling into the believing into the cultures or falling into the culture of her
Yeah.
people and her accepting that
Yeah.
her coming
Okay, I do see
yeah
that.
and also coming to terms of what of her brother, not blaming herself for the death of her brother.
I have to agree with that too. It was like I think that would be probably my favorite parts of the film, like exploring the moments where like it just explored her. I felt were like very interesting, very rich to see, and yeah, it was like emotional.
It was
You
very
know, it's
emotional.
just a lot of emotional
We
stuff
watched. We went to watch
throughout
it
the
in
film.
theater, and there was a lot of crying in the theater.
Uh,
As soon as the credit, not credit, as soon as the movie started, there was a bunch of crying.
it was an emotional film from beginning to end, so it's like it makes sense. And what is one thing that I guess like a flaw or something within the film?
I said before, not really a flaw, but something I was kind of disappointed was that we didn't get much of Ironheart. I'm guessing like she wasn't really needed
Okay.
into the film, but I understand why she was there for more of a world building. I guess that would be a flaw. Also, there are some
Uh,
parts that kind of dragged on, at least for me. I wish I would have got more action.
yeah,
For action, I can name like just I think there's only 3 scenes of action in this Black Panther film that I can
I
think
do
of.
feel like the action though was in a way better than how it was in the first
Oh
film.
yeah, for sure. Also, I
A bit
guess
more
this is a
brute, like
pro. The CGI is way better than it was
oh
in the first
yeah,
one.
it isn't like the final battle. It was like an improvement to how it was in the final battle in the first film. But the one thing I would say that a flaw for me, I think would have been interesting to like explore a little bit more of the Talikans, like,
Yeah. Okay.
but at the same and I do agree it was a bit slow at times, but yet I don't know, like the characters' dialogue and like what is going on and all that just did make it more did make it interesting also, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. I wish I would have saw way
So
more of the Taliban people in their I guess their home. Yeah, their home and
yeah.
their nation.
Overall, what would you give the film?
If I had to rate it, hmm, okay, I'm not gonna rate it. I'm not gonna rate it as a sequel to of a Black Panther film because it's not really a Black Panther film in my opinion. Not until I guess the second or final act. It's more of a Wakanda film, and
Mhm.
I would rate it like a B plus or an A minus in my opinion, around there.
Okay. I give it like an A minus, but I give it like
I
a
see that.
I think I give it like a 9 out of 10, honestly, because
9 out of 10. I would say 8.5, a little bit, or 8.6.
yeah, it was still really good. And in my opinion, I do believe the first Black Panther film is better, but at the same time, this one is still really good. It is like almost up there with the first Black Panther film.
It is. Yeah, it's probably one of the best films out of Phase 4 in general, or one of the best things come out of Phase
Oh,
4.
for sure.
You know,
For sure.
given the
For
fact
sure.
of what of them losing, or the movie losing its main character or their main guy, and having to deal with rewriting scripts and having to deal with these actors going into roles that they weren't really meant to be. For example, Suri. I mean, of course, maybe one day she would become the Black Panther, but the actress probably wasn't thinking it would happen so soon.
Yeah, it just happened. I feel like it did happen a bit quickly, and they were like, "Oh, okay."
So yeah,
But
overall, the
yeah,
film was a good
overall,
film, man. Really good film.
yeah,
I would
it's a
recommend for you guys to
really
watch it
good film.
in theaters more than once.
Yes, watch it in theaters. Try to watch it in IMAX because for some reason there wasn't a lot of IMAX showings when we went.
Yeah, yeah.
And bring tissues because like this is probably the saddest MCU film there is, in my opinion.
See that, man. I think you're right. This and No Way Home takes the cake for the saddest films.
Yeah, so
No Way Home.
I
It's just that one scene that was sad in No Way Home.
would say Endgame in the beginning, first part too.
Yeah, I can see that. I'll give
But
Endgame actually.
overall, overall, good film. We definitely do recommend it. You will definitely have fun watching this film. Well, fun because it does has its fun moments. Then it does have its lots of sad moments. So
Lot.
it'd be like it's an emotional ride because there are some fun moments and there's some like sad moments and there's some like kick ass
Did
moments
you
and all
cry, man?
that.
Did you
But
cry? I heard a little.
I teared up. I teared up. Yeah.
So make sure you guys bring
Yeah.
your tissues when you go watch this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And that ends the spoiler free thoughts. Now we're going to get into spoilers and holy crap, this film made some decisions that I was not expecting it to happen, to be
Oh, you're
honest.
talking about the death of Mrs. Ramonda.
Yes, they killed the mom. Like, I remember there were like, some rumors of it because of the trailer. I'm
Yeah,
like, no, no way they're gonna do that. No way they're gonna do that. Then watching it happen, it was like, oh shit, they actually did
I was
it.
surprised that you were surprised because you're so into like spoilers and stuff like that before watching a movie. So like, oh, he
I
probably
actually
knew.
did not. I actually did not know nothing about. Didn't really know much about this. Just rumors.
Yeah,
Another rumor was Killmonger returning somehow within the film
which he
because
does.
they did tease it. Like it was teased back when the film was being made. This was before Sadwick died.
Yeah,
It was like teased by the actress who plays the mom because she's like, well, we didn't see him get buried or something like that. So teasing that he could have still be alive, but
Well, he's dead for sure. He's dead.
yeah, he's dead in the astro form, astro field,
Hmm.
astro
I mean, there might be a
thing.
way for him to come back. If they, for example, Moon Knight.
Maybe multiverse. Maybe multiverse. To be
I'm
honest,
saying just like
like
in Moon Knight, you saw the uh, Mike Steven was dead for a while, and he came back.
his body, Killmonger's body, got to be gone by
Oh, does the body
this.
still have to be preserved?
I'm pretty sure it
Yeah, you're
does.
right. Oh snap.
But at the same time, I feel like we could see Killmonger like a multiverse version of Killmonger, like in What If.
Okay, I see that. Yeah,
Gets-
yeah. I don't
But
think Michael B. Jordan is done rocking with the MCU. It seems like he likes working with them. He does a lot of stuff
it
with
was
them.
super cool though. Like, because Killmonger was probably one of the best recent villains, and it was kind of disappointing that they killed him off in the first Black Panther film. But so seeing him appear in this, even though it was like as
That's
a
that's the
spirit,
thing with a lot of Marvel movies.
it was still
I
really
would have
good.
to say that they always
Well,
kill off their villains.
not just Marvel movies too. It's like it's a superhero film
Yeah, but yeah, I
trope
see that.
through with every superhero film,
Well,
not just Marvel, but DC too,
I would say
and
X
all the
Men, the
others.
Fox X Men,
And of course, they cannot kill off
Magneto.
Magneto. They kill off.
They kill off.
They killed off all the side villains,
Yeah, that's one thing with
pretty
Marvel. I
much.
wish they would stop doing. Well, Batman doesn't kill his villains. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're
I
here to
think
talk
Batman
about
did.
Black Panther. So yes,
Yes,
yes, he comes. Killmonger makes a return. When Shuri, she realized she needs to become the Black Panther to help her people. She takes she makes, I guess, like a replica of the flower of the
but
Wakanda.
yes, this does confirm Shuri is the new Black Panther, and
Yeah, if you guys couldn't tell,
she she kicked ass.
if you guys
She
couldn't tell
kicked
from the
ass
trailer,
for
she,
sure.
yeah, I was really impressed with her. With her, man. I didn't really think, I was going in thinking like, oh, there's no way she could, carry this film. Not to say that I wasn't like believing in her, but I was just like saying like, oh, how is this gonna work? I was like, I was unsure,
She
but
she did
she
perfect in
did
the
really
film. Like
good.
this was more her film than really anything else, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah,
And she just she kicked ass.
I want to see more. I wouldn't not mind. I want to see more of her as Black Panther in future MCU projects.
That would be cool to see.
I really,
I also would
huh?
and also there's been rumors of like this being like an kind of like being used to like expand more from Wakanda, so we could see some more like some Disney Plus Marvel special presentations and Disney Plus series for the side characters in this, because there was one I believe of Okoye
Yeah.
being made. And I remember Ryan Coogler, the director, was working on one also, and it's been rumored that Mbaku might be getting his own project in the future.
Hmm.
So it's like it does pave the way for future projects within the Wakanda area, while exploring more of these amazing characters in Wakanda, as well as from outside of Wakanda too, with the CIA in a way. And it seems like it could be setting up Thunderbolts
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
because
I for sure. There's many theories of that because
you got what
what's her name?
Valerie, I think her name.
Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, Elaine from
Which,
Seinfeld.
spoiler, she's ex-wife of Mr. Frost.
Everett Ross.
Everett Ross, freaking Frost. Yeah, Everett Ross.
Where'd you get Frost from?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Everett Ross. But
Because I believe in the comics he has a thing with Nick Fury.
what's your theory about her major plan? Because she has a plan. What's
She does have a
what's your
plan.
theory of the plan? What
So
might be for why she's doing all this? Why she's looking for
remember,
vibranium?
so she could be in control, like to be in control. So the Jewess could be on top, because she is pretty much the MCU's Amanda Waller,
Hmm.
pretty much. And
That would be a nice fight or movie to
with
see, her versus Amanda Wallace.
oh yeah, Amanda Waller's more scarier.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Anyway, but with it, it's like you had like brainwashed brainwashed assassins on her team, and then she easily manipulated John Walker,
Yeah.
U.S. agent,
Oh yeah, she has him wrapped
and
around
you
her
got
finger.
Red Guardian, who, let's be real, he's an idiot, so he probably fall for anything, and she was able to manipulate Yelena to go after Hawkeye, as we see in like the post-credit scene of Black Widow and in the Hawkeye series.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest
So
with
it's like
what did you like? Because those are one of the things you see online a lot too about people complaining about those scenes of the movie, saying that they didn't really need to be there. What's your opinion
I'm
about that?
I'm fine with it. Like,
I
it's
agree.
setting
I don't
up
really
for
see
the
what's the
future.
problem with them because there's that's what Marvel does. If you're going into a Marvel movie expecting them not to set seeds for future projects, then I don't know what do you think? Because this basically all Marvel movies now. They have their main
And if
story and then they have a little side. I wouldn't say story, but a little side couple like 2 or 3 scenes where they set up future projects and future. What's the bigger idea? Even it was like that ever since the
mhm,
beginning. To be honest.
yeah, it's been like that very in the very beginning, even with the first Iron Man, even with Iron Man 2 gets criticized for too much world focusing on world building and that, but like, it's like still it's in every MCU film where it's like introducing characters, and then all of a sudden, like many years later, like you just see the characters return,
Hmm.
or like the plots continue, stuff like
I
that.
think what she wants to
And
do is take over. Yeah, like you're saying, make United States the biggest nation right now, or the strongest nation again,
because
because with the discovery of Wakanda and the fact that everybody knows they have this one metal that is the strongest metal on Earth or in the universe, I guess, and that they can use it for their weapons, and knowing that if the United States try to go against Wakanda, they're gonna lose no matter what. Any nation out there is gonna lose. Wakanda is literally the strongest nation on Earth in the MCU.
and even though with the Thunderbolts, Bucky is super close with Wakanda due to them helping him out and all that. So I'm pretty sure Valerie knows this, and she could probably use him as a Trojan
To get
horse
in
in
there,
a
yeah,
way without him knowing. So
it's gonna be that's gonna be a it's
that's
gonna be a it's gonna be a.
very interesting film.
Is that gonna be a film, Thunderbolts, or is that gonna be a?
Yes, that will be a movie. But one thing I do wonder with Everett Ross character, we see the Wakandans rescue him. I do wonder how, or like, what will be his role in Secret Invasion, because Martin Freeman was confirmed to be in Secret
Well,
Invasion.
that depends on because when that takes place. If that takes place before or after this.
I know, but still, like, it does make people wonder about that,
Hmm.
because I believe that might be the next MCU. Well, not after the Guardians Holiday Special, but I feel like that might be the next one
Yeah. Well,
after the Guardians
yeah,
Special.
I agree. Thunderbolts is gonna be, or not Thunderbolts. Secret Invasion is gonna play a major role in this.
Yeah, for sure.
But
And
but getting back into the spoilers of Black Panther 2 or Wakanda Forever, the origins of Namor. What was your opinion, man, of how they introduced the character, the origins of the I guess the Talakan people in general, and how they warriors, well, of course, but well, they have their own vibranium metal.
it was very interesting. It was like it makes sense, like how they have their metal and like them drinking from the plant,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden like transforms them into ocean people in a
That's
way.
that's a weird thing too, huh? That
It was
it's the
weird, but
same it's
yet,
the same metal or the same. Well, I don't know if it's the same plant, but it's the same thing, but
yeah,
different. I guess it's the flower that if depending on where the metal lands, just how you get different powers. I don't know how that works. I need to figure
it
out
was
how that works.
it was a bit weird, but at the same time, it's like, okay, this is interesting. I want to know more of this. I want to know more of the Talikans. I want to know more of Namor.
Yeah.
Because, like,
So how?
Namor, he is 500 years old, I think,
Yeah, I think something like that.
from the 16th century, I believe. So they can easily explore a lot more, and it's like makes people wonder, like, just wonder, like, maybe the tie-ins, because,
Hmm.
like, okay, like, do the Eternals know about them, or like what?
Well, speaking of the introduction of the Telecom people or and Namor as well, we first see them all when the U.S. I believe it's the U.S. right, not the French.
The U.S.
They have this giant metal contraption that is able to detect vibranium. They go out and see and they find a big chunk of vibranium. Come to find out that vibranium is where the Telecom people live in the middle of the deep ocean. And one of the most I'm gonna say the freaking scariest scene in the MCU, in my opinion, was when you just you hear them, I guess, have their chant, and they're chanting on to the people on the boat, the U.S. Army, and it was a eerie scene, bro. They just, in my opinion,
Yeah, it was
I
like
was kind of creeped out, man. Like, whoa, did I walk into a horror movie or something?
that was like pretty eerie in a way. It's like, wow, I didn't like.
I liked
I
it.
was not expecting it.
I
I was not expecting
I
it to
really
get
liked
like that,
that.
but at the same time, it's like, okay, this is a perfect introduction in a way. Perfect introduction to these people who like to these mysterious people in a way.
Hmm.
Because with the Talikans, nobody knows that they exist except for the Wakandians.
Yeah.
So,
Now they didn't
you
even know
know,
they
yeah,
exist until like
yeah,
Namor
yeah, pretty
introduces
much.
himself to them, saying that, hey, I need your help.
Even in the even in the end of the film, nobody else
No.
knows about, well, except for Everett Ross, but nobody knows that Talican exists. So, like, a lot of the stuff that the Talicans did to the people, no, it's like they're kind of the world is blaming it on the Wakandians, even though the Wakandians did nothing. So that kind of leads to uh, Valerie and wanting to go after, like, the United States and whatnot, wanting to like go after Wakanda in a
Yeah, because they
way.
believe that the people that attacked the U.S. was Wakandians. Is that how you say it, Wakandians or the Wakanda people?
Wakandians, Wakanda
Well,
people.
they believe that it was
I think.
them, because they don't know anyone else that's strong enough to take out the U.S. Army like that.
And going after vibranium, of course,
Hmm.
pretty much.
So,
But I I remember there was a rumored post credit scene for a while though about turned out that it was Doctor Doom who sent them to go after the vibranium, but
that
that did not turn out to be true.
yeah,
Or if it did, it got cut out. Who knows? But Doctor Doom is probably the next Mephisto, where it's like, oh, it's Doctor Doom, and it turns out it's not.
yeah, I agree, man. But yeah, so Namor takes care, or the Namor and the Telecom people take care of the U.S. people, the U.S. Army trying to hunt down their vibranium, and he
Take
goes to
out or like take out.
or take out. Yeah, he takes them
They
out.
killed
He
everyone
killed them. That was
in a very
eerie,
like
eerie way, but
eerie
yeah,
way.
they have this ability that I guess is kind of like the siren, like the origins or the mythology mermaids that would like sing to like fishermen, pirates, and
Mm-hmm.
make them, hypnotize them. So they hypnotize the U.S.
Yeah,
people or the U.S. Army to jump off the boat. And the way they jumped off the boat was so creepy to me because they just lost all emotion and just, walked off the boat.
that was like so creepy, but yeah, it was like,
It was cool.
okay, this
It
is
was really cool.
interesting.
Yeah, it was. For my opinion, I really liked it.
So with that, it shows how scary the Talikans can be
Hmm.
compared to the Wakandians, and like throughout the film, it like shows that it's like they're different. They're built different. They have like unique powers that like a fatal blow, a fatal stab isn't gonna kill them
Well, sometimes because I don't know, but
sometimes.
at one time
Because
one
Okoye
time,
stabbed several of them, and all of a sudden they lived. And
yeah. But then you remember the scene when they were Lupita was saving Suri,
Yeah,
and then she just kills him with a gun blast. I was kind of
yeah.
confused
So it's
there.
like, but at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, these people are. You don't want to fuck with these people in
Yeah,
a
especially
way.
Namor. He's really strong. They show his strength a lot in this film, comparing him to the Hulk.
And like, oh yeah, Baku compares him to the Hulk, which was pretty funny.
I
But it's
like
like,
how someone else said this online, but I like how they still uh have a Hulk as one of the strongest beings, and they still compare strength to the Hulk, even after him turning into Professor Hulk.
yeah,
No, I think that was
I
pretty
could see
cool.
that. Like watching the film, I'm just like, seeing Namor in action. I'm just thinking, it's like, oh, I wonder how it will be if he fights Thor. I wonder how it'll be if he fights Hulk,
Hmm.
Captain Marvel, one of the Eternals.
Oh,
Like all
in
these
my opinion,
strong MCU characters.
Captain Marvel would probably kick his ass pretty quick.
Oh yeah, for
She's
sure.
cosmic. Maybe, yeah,
I feel like Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch, I would say, are like the two strongest, powerful characters in the
well, we
MCU.
still gotta see about King, but yeah.
Dang, yeah. Icarus too, but
Icarus
I
is
don't know.
kind of stupid,
He got his ass. He got his ass kicked by a deviant.
but yeah. That was the introduction of the Telecom people and Namor. So that was I would really enjoy that. Namor goes after, well, I guess we could say, but after that, Namor goes and looks for help by the Wakanda people. He figures out that somebody built a vibranium tracking machine, and he asks, I guess Suri in the Queen. What's her name again? Namanunda. Oh, Ramanda.
Ramonda.
They were asking her, "You guys need to find these people for me. Help me out." And that, so Suri and the what's the I need to learn these names.
Okoye
Yeah, Suri and Okoye go to the United States and look for the inventor of this one machine, and come to find out
was
it is
it's Ironheart
Ironheart, man. Yes, played by Dominique Thorne, which she did
and
a really good job of playing Ironheart. I really like. I don't know. I like the character. I wasn't really into that character, but that's one of the sad things I was talking about in the spoiler-free review, that I wish I would have saw more of her.
yes, and like while she did great in the role and all that, it did feel like that character though it didn't really have to be Ironheart. It could have
Yeah,
been like anyone, to be honest, but it works. We get introduced to this new character, so it does lead to more interesting stories and possibilities down the road.
yeah,
And one thing though that was great was I, I would say the accent and all that. Like even though because when we first like see her in action, she has like this homemade Iron Man type suit, which does give vibes to like when Tony Stark was building his prototypes in the first film. But like what one thing I felt was disappointing was like you have someone creating a pretty much an Iron Man suit. Why not mention Tony Stark?
yeah. That's also another thing why.
That kind of confused me. I
Yeah,
don't know if like they cut it out
I wish that she would have been
and
like. I was thinking. I don't know much about Iron Man, but I was thinking she was like a fangirl of Iron Man. You know, kind of how Miles Morales was like a fanboy of Spider Man. I was thinking something like that was gonna happen, but no, he's not even mentioned there at all.
depends on the version of Miles Morales. It depends on the version of Miles Morales.
Oh, well,
In the video game, he's a fanboy of Peter Parker. In the
comics.
comics, nah, I wouldn't say he is. I could be wrong about it, but in the movie Into the Spider-Verse, he wasn't really too big on Spider-Man.
Hmm.
But okay, back to Wakanda Forever, and I don't know. I kind of for Ironheart, I kind of wish there was like just a mention of Iron Man somehow because they
Well,
It's just mentioned once. Wait, is this Stark Tech? And that's it.
yeah, that's it.
Which does connect to No Way Home when like apparently someone is stealing Stark Tech and Happy has to go to court for it apparently. But well, that was kind of like teased in No Way Home.
I hope it's her. I could believe.
Could be
Yeah,
her. But this does pave the way for Ironheart and possibly Armor Wars.
isn't it confirmed that she's in Armor Wars or not?
It is confirmed.
Okay.
It is confirmed that she will be in Armor Wars for sure. But that's been changed to a movie instead, so that will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Get into other major spoilers of the movie. We could talk about. I guess we could talk about the. You want to go into the end credit scene now, or do you want to?
Okay, so there wasn't no end credit
Yeah,
scene.
there was no end credit. I mean, the mid credit scene. Yeah.
There was a mid credit scene,
Which what was the
and
reason you were telling me why there is no end credit scene? Just
there's no end credit scene because of like the emotion behind it. So they felt like with a end game, it's like okay, we shouldn't include a post credit scene. You know, we should like it didn't feel right to include a post credit scene, and I do understand that. And in the mid credit scene, it does introduce that Nakia has a son with T'Challa they pretty much kind of like hid from Wakanda, so because they both felt that it would have been better to raise him not there, pretty much.
yeah. Do you remember his
And
name?
uh,
Uh-oh.
well, his name is also T'Challa.
His French name, his Haiti name.
I don't remember,
That was also one thing.
but
What's Lupita's character's name in the movie?
Nakia.
Nakia. She was so after I guess I'm guessing after the snap, she moved to Haiti. That's why she wasn't in Infinity or my bad Endgame. And she has her and T'Challa had a kid apparently. And I'm guessing T'Challa wanted to keep his son a secret from the village or Wakanda.
So he doesn't have to like deal with like the grow up like how he did, you know, like dealing with all that in a way. You know, it's like okay, I want him to grow up normal.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's how T'Challa was like grow up normal, you know, grow up free in a way, not with like the responsibilities of a prince or
Yeah, the responsibility and the stress of being
royalty.
royalty, yeah, because I'm guessing T'Challa understood that because he grew up like that.
And like I remember there were like rumors of that they gonna have his son,
I remember
and it's
asking
like
you in the theater saying, "Oh, I was thinking they're gonna have a kid or something," and you were saying, "Oh, I thought so too." And then the
the
end
mid credit
scene.
scene post popped up. And it's like, oh,
There he is.
there it is.
So his French name is pronounced Tuasan, Tuasan, Tuasante. Oh my god, that is a hard. I cannot speak French, but yeah, which is just his
Let's just say
Haitian name, but
that.
his real name, his son's name is T'Challa Junior.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like pretty emotional to be honest. Seeing that,
Yeah, I would have to agree. Especially seeing Suri's reaction or yeah, her reaction to her nephew because
yeah,
she lost everyone in this movie. She lost her mother, she lost her brother, and she lost her father. She felt alone. She felt like she had no family, and then
yeah. She was
finding out,
practically
yeah, she was alone. You're right. Finding out she
she like
has a
she was
nephew.
practically the last of her bloodline, or at least he thought. And then finding out she had a nephew was like, oh, like my bloodline lives pretty much. So it's like,
Tucson, that's his name. That's how you
this
pronounce his name. Tucson.
Toussaint. So like seeing that was like heartwarming in a way.
Yeah. He was a really cute little boy too, man. I was seeing his big smile and I was like, oh, I was just so happy to see that T'Challa had, had a son, man. And Yeah, I remember
And
in the
so
theater we had someone in the back saying, "Oh hell no! Oh no! What?" You see him, you hear him
yeah, I
screaming.
remember that. And like, I do feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity that they never like included a scene in the film of the kid meeting Ramanda.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder why they.
I know I would have loved to see
I wonder why they
her
kept. Yeah,
reaction to that.
maybe they. I guess
Like,
they had to keep that out just because they didn't want to spoil it so soon into the movie. Because she dies pretty early
I
on in the
feel like
movie,
it.
by the way, guys.
Like halfway, I was
She dies when
probably yes
Namor and
was
his
halfway.
people first attack Wakanda. Namor is actually the
Like
one that
it
kills her.
was. Oh god, I was that is still unexpected. It was like, oh my gosh, they actually did it. But yet, thinking about it, the Ryan Coogler always had planned to use Namor in the sequel, and like the original plan for the sequel, besides Namor, would have been T'Challa like feeling sadness and all that because of the 5 years that he missed being snapped.
Yeah. Man, I'm just getting
So I
emotional right
was,
now. I was looking at these
so
pictures of
I feel
Chadwick
like that
Boseman.
would have, I feel like that would have like played into the story of like the sadness and grief and all that of him like losing pretty much 5 years of his life due to the snap, and then that's when Namor and all that happens. And I do feel like Ramonda was always going to die in this film.
Oh, you had a hunch.
Like hearing about the original plan and like how Ryan Coogler always wanted to include Namor into the sequel, it's like I do feel like this was always supposed to happen now,
Yeah, man.
and it would have been like, and then the end would have been like T'Challa versus Namor.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen that. Would have been a good fight to see, man.
That would have been awesome to see, but it's like
Things happen.
what the fight we did get though was really good between Shuri and Namor. It was like it was brutal, like
It was a good fight, though. You talking about the last fight?
the final fight.
Yeah, it was. You like you said, you saying it was straight out of the comics, man.
It, pretty much, because I remember there was a comic where like, I believe Shuri and Namor was like fighting on a cliff, and then like he fell into the water, came back up, and just beat her up pretty
It's another
much.
thing in the film. Namor, he can't be out of the water for too long, or he can't dry up. He needs his skin needs to be wet too for him to have his full strength.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they get him. So you know, but he turns it around, quickly stabs Suri, thinking he won. And you can hear because like we mentioned before, Suri when she went into the astral plane, she saw Killmonger. And when she's well, first of all, she gets the spear out of her, and she gets to Namor. She gets to Namor before he can get to the water. I think she stabs him right with the spear right through his belly, or no? Or did she just put a foot on
No,
her?
no, she burns him with the
Oh,
jet
you're right.
engine.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah. She burns him. You see
I
Neymar
was
there
like,
just laying down, about to die, and Syria just about to stab him right through his throat. And you can hear she hears Killmonger at first because that's who she saw in the astral plane, and that's what she was. That's the reason why she saw him was because of she was angry and she was just getting
she was wanting
revenge.
vengeance.
Yeah, basically. But which is another scene that kind of made me cry when she just hears her mother and she sees the scenes of her mother and of is that the part where she sees like a bunch of like scenes of her brother as well?
No, that was like after, like that was like near the ending. That was in the ending, I think. Yeah,
So
when she was burning the.
oh yeah. Well, they're in the when she's about to kill Neymar, she just sees scenes of her mother, and that kind of got me too, man. Just saying,
It's like she comes to her senses in a way. It's like,
this is she had to choose right
nah.
then and there who she wanted to be, and I'm glad to say she made the right choice, man. At least in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She could have easily killed Neymar right then and there, and it would have been over.
Hmm.
But because also when that fight's going on, there's the Wakandan also fighting the Talokan people. So I'm thinking If she would have killed Neymar, the Talokan people would have probably killed all the Wakandans down the boat.
Yeah, because the Telecom people had the Wakandans
Yeah, they were outnumbered basically.
outnumbered, defeated, is pretty much. But they did good with showing how powerful the Telecons can be.
So back to T'Challa's son, T'Challa. Do you think they're gonna have him be part of the Young Avengers?
Eventually, probably, yeah, but that would probably be further down the
Yeah, he looks way too
line.
young right now. I think he's like 6 or 8, around 6 or 8.
Something like that, yeah, I would
But
say,
it'd be cool to
because he
see him
was.
part of the Young Avengers. You know, him, Kate Bishop. Who else? Oh, the Wanda's kids. If they ever make a comeback.
It's rumored they're making a comeback in the new Agatha series, or at least Billy is.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
But yeah, that's how that was. This movie does set up a lot of possibilities for the future, a lot of possible stories that can be explored. Like we mentioned with the Thunderbolts, like the U.S. versus Wakanda does make people wonder, like
There's gonna
some stuff about Secret Invasion 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's gonna eventually be a war with Wakanda and the U.S.
That's
After
what it seems like it's setting up for.
and Neymar, because she doesn't kill Neymar, remember? And the people, one of Neymar's,
Hmm.
I guess, henchmen or one of his main generals are asking him like, hey, I
His,
was
I
disappointed.
believe it's his cousin Namora.
She was kind of like disappointed in him, but he then explains like, hey, one day Wakanda's gonna need our help one day, and that's when we're gonna get them or something like that. Because he doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't really want to kill the Wakanda nation. He just wants to get rid of the rest of the world. I don't think he really minds the Wakandans.
Like he just because it's in a way it's like
Like,
as a kid, he was born into water and all that. Then when he came to the surface to bury his mother, like there was slavery and all that going around. So
yeah,
it's like, oh God, the surface world is not good. So it does kind of like make people like, okay, this kind of makes sense in a way.
mhm.
It's like how he is makes sense. He hates to, like he was just disgusted what he saw with the surface world and like how,
Well, I mean, I don't blame him either. That's why I think he makes kind
yeah,
of like a great villain. He just takes it a little too far. Kind of like
yeah,
Killmonger.
pretty
Kind of
much. He
like
go,
Killmonger.
oh yeah, I like how Killmonger killed Forrest Whitaker's character in the first film and a lot of others.
Yeah, with Killmonger, the reasoning of why he did what he did, I agreed with, but I guess the execution, same thing with Neymar, they just take it a little too far, and that's the line between becoming a great hero and an anti-hero or a villain even.
Yeah,
There's a
I do
certain
feel
way.
like though. Then again, like you've seen the What If episode, Killmonger is always going to be a villain.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
has no good intentions, pretty much. And like with how that episode was, showing like the U.S. versus the Wakandians in a way, like even though it was like all orchestrated by Killmonger, it does feel like we could see some. It does feel like something like that will happen in live action because of what is teased and all that. So it's like I wonder how similar those two will be to each other in a way.
Okay.
Even though with in the Killmonger What If episode, it was just Stark Tech robots that Killmonger and Tony Stark built.
Yeah. Overall, man, great film. Great. In my opinion, great writing. The director did a great job. There were some slow parts, but overall, great film,
With the
man.
slow parts, though, it was still interesting with the dialogue and all that was happening. But
Yeah,
yeah, this was a super great film.
that comes
It
up
was
to
like
our where do we rank this Black Panther being the final movie in Phase 4? Where do we rank it in our Phase 4 rating
number 2.
after No Way Home.
No Way
Of
Home.
course.
After No Way Home.
Yeah, I would say. Man, I'm really
I gotta give it
struggling
to
with this
number
one
two.
between this and Shang Chi. My number one is also No Way Home. But that was such a great film.
But
Probably.
for my favorite movie,
Huh? That was your favorite movie, The
for
Phase
my
4?
no, well, I would say for my favorite movie of this year out of all the movies released, it would be number three.
Really? Out of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Mine would be this would be number two. It would be Doctor Strange and then this. What did he prefer over this?
Like I'm talking about all the movies, all 2022 films.
Oh, I thought you meant just Marvel.
Just Marvel for this year. Honestly, maybe this one. I don't know because I really love the Multiverse of Madness also. So it's like, and it's kind of like hard to like pick one that's better because the two are just completely different films. You know, the completely different stories, completely different vibes, and all that. So
Hmm. Yeah, I see what you're
yeah,
saying, man. But yeah, for
you know, and
Phase,
like each Marvel,
go ahead.
in my opinion, each Marvel film is like very different from one another. Like look at Multiverse of
That's
Madness, look at Love and
yeah, that's
Thunder,
also a
and
thing with
look
this.
at
This was
this.
really different than a lot of Marvel films. Like it took a real
And
serious
also
tone, man.
look at Werewolf by Night, and you can also look at how She-Hulk was, look at how Moon Knight was,
Yeah.
look at how Ms.
Yeah,
Marvel was.
that's a good example. Werewolf by Night
They're
and
all very
She-Hulk are
different.
very different. Two different
Yet
MCU properties or I guess
they
stories.
both were really good
Yeah,
too.
for different reasons, exactly. Yeah, Moon Knight and She-Hulk
Yeah,
are really good. A lot of people don't like She. I like She-Hulk for what it was, but
I
She-Hulk
love
and Moon Knight
She-Hulk.
were good shows. They were both different for what they were.
Yeah,
But you know,
exactly. It's
for what we do, I would rank this in Phase 4 movies. I would rank it. Fuck, I would have to rank it either number three, man, because I really like Shang Chi. It would go No Way Home, Shang Chi, and then Black Panther, and then it would go Doctor Strange, and then
Shang-Chi was still a really good film too, though.
my worst one had to be Eternals. It's not that it was bad. It was just it wasn't. It was probably not the best out of. Well, I haven't seen Black Widow, but bro, from what Kid Punk tells me over here, he says that was really bad.
I never said Black Widow was bad.
Well, you ranked Black Widow last out of Phase 4.
That doesn't mean I said I liked it was a really good movie, but the third act lost
All
me
right, you guys in the comments, let us know what's the worst Phase 4 movie so far.
because of the whole villain plot twist and all
You
that.
can say
But
it. It's a spoiler. We're in the spoiler part,
because with the Taskmaster revealed lost me, but other than that, it was still a pretty solid film. So,
but it's still
but at the
more.
same time, it's like not my favorite compared to the others. But at the same
You really
time, it's
prefer
like
Eternals over Black Widow
that could switch to be honest. Because at the same
though.
time, it's like okay, yeah, Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh.
Yeah. Well, that's all. That was our ranking,
Uh,
man.
yeah, that's like a ranking for now. We will maybe do another episode going deeper into the ranking and explaining why.
Yeah. Well, when we
But
do that episode, we're not just gonna introduce the movies. We're gonna talk about everything in Phase 4, the shows,
yeah,
the specials.
well, we're probably gonna split it up and then do it all together.
Yeah, that'll be a good podcast. We're just waiting for Guardians of the Galaxy to come out. Oh wait, no, that's not Phase 4. That's Phase
That's
5.
not phase four. That's not phase four. That's
Is
not
that
phase
Phase
four. So
5?
we're good. I think so. That
Dang,
might
man.
be, or that might be on its own thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But overall, Wakanda Forever was a really good film. Very emotional from beginning to end.
Very.
It had a beautiful tribute to Chadwick Boseman. It did beautifully well with its characters. It introduced Namor and the Talokans in a very great, eerie way
Huh.
that will make you look forward to seeing more of them in the future, wondering how it could all play out and like if it's connected with anything else. And I do And it does pave the way for more projects like Thunderbolt and a lot of Disney Plus and special presentation projects exploring these amazing characters from Wakanda, like Okoye, Mbaku, and many more. But yeah, that concludes this podcast. Thanks for listening to us. If you're watching us on YouTube, well, listening to us on YouTube, comment below what was your favorite part in Wakanda Forever, and like what are your thoughts on Wakanda Forever in general, or add us on our socials and like let us know in the comments or something like that. Tweet us, comment on our TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Let us know your thoughts on it. And yeah,
And thank you guys for joining us in this journey into fantasy.